Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on Emotional Support, Alessandra is joined by her guest Anch. They talk all about mental health, dealing with loneliness while moving to a different country, and becoming Paris Hilton's BFF. On Dumb Gay Politics, Julie and Brandy interview the high school senior whose viral tweet to President Obama led to his historic nationwide graduation commencement address. In the season 1 finale of Musicals That Never Made It, Gabe and the gang are joined by Broadway's Drew Gelling for an inspirational show about the magic of self-worth in the great Zazine. On That Black-Ass Show, comedian and actor Jamar Neighbors joins host Dulce Sloan in discussing the cultural impact of the movie Friday. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for a full list of our shows, featuring hosts like Gilbert Gottfried, Paula Poundstone, and Kyle Kinane. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show, and remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Starburns Audio.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Papa. Tom Papa, welcome back to our dumb universe.
It's so good to be back with people of my level.
Dude, I mean, look, you have been whipping up a bread factory there. My wife has been cooking bread. I know you've been cooking bread during this pandemic, and I know you are spending a lot of time with your kids who are teenagers who probably think you're the dumbest person in the world. Is that the truth? When did we get so dumb?
Oh my God. It's so the worst is when I ask a question, and it's all amplified now because we're just around each other all the time.
Yeah.
But when you say something and they don't even correct you, they just look at you like, really?
Yeah. You just hung yourself with that rope, Dad. God. It's so not cool. It's so not cool.
And I find myself like scrambling to get credibility back. Yeah. It's like, like, is there more almond milk in here? What? No, I'm just saying because there wasn't any yesterday there. It makes perfectly logical sense why I would ask that question now.
Yeah. Yes.
No.
All right, Jesus Christ.
Did it just get colder in here?
They're just like defense attorneys.
Drops like 4 degrees in your kitchen.
Can you just say badgering
I had a
your
funny
father?
moment, not about my intelligence as much as just this is how I know what's going on. Like, they're not wrong. Like, they're noticing when I'm slipping. Yeah. So I'm using them to kind of put myself in check.
Right.
And I don't wear a lot of shorts. I don't wear shorts that often. I'm always in jeans. And yesterday it was so hot in LA that I came up in shorts and what I thought from my college days was cool cargo shorts.
Oh, God.
They were cool cargo shorts with some straps and some pockets. God. And I came up and my daughter just looked at it and was like, oh, so we're wearing those dad shorts now?
Oh, God.
Ouch.
I swear to God, I went right back downstairs, rolled them up, put them in the garbage.
Threw them away. Threw them away.
Oh my Dan, God. That's some sniper stuff.
That's just crazy.
Well, in high school.
Well, you have got a new book out. We're going to talk about it at the top of this next segment. But first, we are so happy that you're here. And let's just dive into the stupidity because we need to make sense of it.
For sure.
All right,
Daniel, we got a
Here
story.
we go. Ready? Yes. This was sent in by Daskar the Great at Daskar, Doscar. actually says Doskar the Great at kind of half marathon training. Whatever. Thanks, Doskar.
Good. Super.
All right, we appreciate it. Just the headline alone is enough fun, guys, because it is this. Sword-wielding medieval knight vigilante takes on street gang.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Words that'll never be used to describe me. Or Tom Papa. Tom Papa is throwing away his cargo shorts from college. He doesn't have swords around his house.
Right.
Or you would never take on a gang of people, Tom.
Oh God, no way. That's like that level. There was one time when I played Grand Theft Auto for so many hours in a row that when I got in my car driving around, I thought I was in Grand Theft Auto.
Yes. Skewed your perception of reality.
Like, who's going to
That's a
take
guy.
this?
Yeah, that's a guy that's been in some realm of fantasy way too long.
That's right.
Way too long at the Ren Fair, and now he's bringing it to the streets.
He thinks he can apply it in real life.
Yes,
They love me over there. Yeah.
A British medieval enthusiast took the law into his own hands after being harassed by local youths, or Utes, if you love my cousin Vinny, by grabbing some medieval weaponry and taking them on equipped with a sword and an axe. So he's got youths in his neighborhood that are harassing him for probably wearing cargo shorts.
Isn't this the plot to Gran Torino?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yes, this is the medieval times version
of Gran
Torino.
But to me, and I've never really wielded a sword and an axe, doesn't that feel like too much? Like, what is your dominant hand?
That's a hat on a hat for the sword play.
What hand gets the axe? What hand gets the sword?
I would think your dominant hand would be
the sword.
Because axe is just a back and forth motion.
Axe is, but my left shoulder's hurting me lately.
You've got it. I just picture them just laughing like they're all harassing him. He 1 minute goes inside and comes back out. If you were with your friends and some dude came out with a sword, you would just fall out laughing on the streets.
Also, how long has these youths been bothering him that it finally got to the point? Because it's either the very first time or the 85th time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
They know they can outrun this guy. Right. They
Especially in full armor.
Yeah. There's no chance he's catching them. So he's going to be wildly swinging these things in the air. And how many times did he say, "I'm going to get medieval on your ass"? He probably said it.
He said it to himself 3 times as he was putting everything on.
With a lisp.
Of course. Alan Powell, A-L-U-N. I haven't seen that. That's the true British.
Never heard Alan spelled A-L-U-N.
Alan Powell, a father of 4, owned the medieval armor and weapons for dressing up in battle reconstructions and was reported.
So maybe he's not. Can I say he's taking it out on these kids? What his kids are giving to him, right? He can't take it out. We know he's a father of 4. He had the almond milk discussion with his kids and was like, "Gonna tell me what I can and can't do. Right. Give me my sword."
Also, how are they harassing him in his daily life?
Dan, isn't there a statement like on Twitter where like if someone says something that's offends you and you're like, "Hold my beer"?
Yes.
Hold my almond milk. Yes. Hold my almond milk. I'm going to go fight this fight.
Yes. He has all this stuff for dressing up in battle reconstructions and was reported by the Sun newspaper to have used a 14th century sword to threaten a man, a court has heard. In defense, Mr. Alan, A-L-U-N, Powell claimed to have, quote, been persecuted for years by antisocial behavior, including drug smoking outside of his home and rubbish being pushed through his letterbox. So they're just messing with him.
Okay, so they're smoking. They're putting trash in his letterbox.
I'm starting to feel for Alon.
Me too. I kind of am like, you should have taken the sword out sooner. What took you so long? This guy's into rent fairs. I would think you would spell his name A-L-O-N-E.
Yeah. Alone.
Okay, stop.
The jury were told that Alan Powell, who participates with the weapons for battle reenactments, pulled the 3-foot blade and an axe from the boot of his car after brandishing a knuckle duster. I do not know what a knuckle duster is.
I'm just on boot of a car. I know that's his trunk. So
sure.
Knuckle duster is maybe brass knuckles. Brass knuckles would be knuckle duster.
Brass knuckles,
probably. Yeah. I'm going to look it up. But also, let's just talk about the fact that he keeps these weapons in his car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just picturing him going to these reenactment things and like going out to his car with his equipment and loading it up.
Or he leaves it all in there.
It's like seeing a party clown on his way to work.
Yes. Yes. Or to me, it's like I keep my golf clubs in the back of my car in case like all of a sudden the day clears out and someone's like, hey, you want to play some golf? And I'm like, yeah, I can play some golf. Right. I should have it in the car in case I'm out. And that's him. Right. He's like, if someone calls me last minute and they're like, hey, there's a Ren Fair breaking out. Yeah, I'm ready. If there's a pickup Ren Fair happening anywhere, just like, hey man, what's going on?
Am I ready?
Am I
ready? Yes, if I am.
Yes, 3 on 3th.
Looked it up. Knuckle duster is the nicest way to say brass knuckles.
Okay, we were right.
Wow.
He was accused of taking a fighting stance, then smashing through a car window with the sword as a group of youths fled in terror. They don't even say if it's their car or his own car or just a car that happened to be there.
You got to swing hard. That's a real weapon if you can go through a car window.
But isn't that like an old magician's trick? Like, I need you to see how real this is. So he just starts like hitting things with the axe and sword to show them that he's gone full Michael Keaton Batman. Like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Right. Watch what I do to this mailbox.
But through a car, like when that glass shatters through a car with like that, this dude is for real.
Yeah, you're
100%.
But then they arrest him. I don't understand. So he never complained to like authorities about. So they're throwing trash through his mail slot. They are smoking on his lawn, which is trespassing, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have pictures,
and so he has his kids of his own.
Right.
So his kids are watching him get abused by other children.
Yes.
All this time.
I'm all for this guy. Okay. I'm all for it. Well, if he didn't hurt them, I mean, he did hurt someone's property. He's going to have to pay for that car, but still.
Unless it was his own, which is the craziest move of all.
If this story doesn't end with he chopped one of their heads off, I'm going to be very disappointed.
That's right.
Prosecutor,
this is like British falling down.
The prosecutor said of Alan Powell, he was clearly angry. Instead of calling police, he went outside and put himself in danger by arming himself with a knuckle duster. I mean, a
knuckle duster does sound like the cutest way to put on brass.
Or a very specific sexual maneuver.
And I put on the knuckle duster, and that's how I met your mother.
You know me, honey. I love a good knuckle duster.
See, it fits.
Come on, it's my birthday.
Your mother and I used to knuckle dust all the time back when we were
twice in one night once.
Sorry, I love your mother.
She's a knockout.
After showing the knuckle duster to the crowd of youths, Alan Powell was then said to have grabbed Kamil Ahmed around the throat, even though there had been no threats towards him. So he just went for whoever was closest.
He went for the throat.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he just went for whatever he could get.
Again, as a father of kids, I'm going to assume that 3 out of the 4 of those kids were daughters. Okay?
I have a picture here of Alan Powell in his full regalia. You guys have to see this and show it to Tom.
Yeah.
If
Tom,
this guy,
you are not going to believe
this guy starts getting into the trunk of his car.
He's got a lot of gear.
Oh, man. That guy's scary. That's scary.
He's a full knight.
Yes. He's full Game of Thrones.
Oh, Mandalorian.
He does look like kind of like the Mandalorian.
How many times has he like gone to the supermarket just dressed like that?
Well, now he has to because of COVID. He has to wear that mask.
That actually would be smart. That actually would be smart.
Having scattered the crowd, Alan then went to his car and got his sword and axe. So this was after he got some of them.
So
to start
grabbed
running.
someone's throat, scattered the crowd, and said, I need to scatter the crowd some more.
Right.
And like many people who participate in Ren fairs, they don't know when to stop.
There is no fourth wall.
Do you want to hear about the Ren fair?
No.
Sunday,
Sunday morning showed up. Nope.
The only fourth wall is the one around your heart. So he gets to his car, he grabs a sword and axe, about which he told police that is when he, quote, saw red. He went full.
This guy, I love that he saw red after he dealt with it initially. Like seeing red would cause you to want to put your hands on some kid's throat. But then,
like maybe he comes out with the dusters and they don't listen, so they pee on his house or something. And
then you see red.
Right, they ran.
But I love that him going to his car and getting his weapons caused him to see red. His own actions.
This is where they say here, this is where Alan Powell lost the plot, and he told Mr. Ahmed and another complainant that he was going to kill them. That's what I love. These kids have been messing with this son of a bitch for who knows, a year,
long.
right?
Yeah.
And they are the ones who went to the cops. Like they were like, you took it too far, man. We were just having fun.
We were just throwing garbage in your mail slot, which sucks too.
The accusers told the court that when they saw the weapons, they left as quickly as possible. We're angels. The court was concerned with the immediate incident, but made inquiries as into why exactly Powell owned the sword, to which he said he was a medieval sports enthusiast, which is the most professional way to say that you're into blades.
Yeah.
I'm a blade man.
I'm a blade guy.
Right. I'm a blade guy. That's what he said.
I'm a murder enthusiast.
Your Honor, I'm a blade guy living life on the edge, Aerosmith style.
All right.
Instead, he said he's a medieval sports enthusiast who fought at castles using blunt weapons, including his replica 14th century blade.
By the way, fought at castles probably entails he did it, and a lot of people there were like, "Hey, man, you can't do that."
Right.
Right.
Fight at White Castles.
Right.
Just leave it there.
And that, believe me, Dan, there are plenty of videos of people fighting at White Castles.
I'm a White Castle fight reenactor.
I reenact this battle that happened in front of the bulletproof glass in Queens.
But there is something interesting about the fact that Ren fairs in England are probably closer to. They probably look.
The dialects are already on point.
Yeah, and also you look like you're in probably a place that hasn't changed in 500-600 years.
Like you're not having it in a field in Oklahoma. You're probably having it near a castle that's
where you can see a billboard for like the Good Wife, like over the back.
You can actually get your hands on a moat. It says Mr. Powell was permitted to own the sword because exemptions were made in 2008. That's, I guess, when they banned like long swords, people owning swords, which is something Florida should look into.
2008. Yeah. 2008. That was the swords really got out of hand back then.
I know. Thank God. But the idea that you can tell people that you were grandfathered in with a sword scenario.
That's like, another story no one wants to hear.
That's another story no one wants to hear, and that is the reason why a lot of friendships ended with this guy.
For sure. Exemptions were made in 2008 laws for, quote, swords which were used for reenactments or antique weapons kept on display by collectors. While Mr. Powell didn't own a samurai sword, I don't know where that comes in, he did carry a sword in public, and that is where he broke the law. And it was a similar incident that spanned out of control in 2002 that brought these new laws. So, in a recent sword incident, Mr. Powell claimed he had represented Wales in the Sports World Cup and that one man had threatened his dad who recently had a stroke. So that's what I guess pushed him over the edge. One of these kids threatened his dad who had recently had a stroke.
He saw red.
He saw red, man.
Pressure was building.
The defense lawyer said that Alan Powell held the weapons in a downward position and did not intend to use them. Let me say this. This is like a Chekhov's gun thing. If you've got a sword, you're going to use it.
If you have a gun, you expect to use it.
Right. Yeah. When the ruling was declared, the judge cleared Mr. Powell of
it's if you have a sword, expect it to go through a car window.
Right. I love that pointing down is safe, pointing up.
Right.
Totally.
Right.
Watch out.
Because of that defense, though, the ruling was declared. The judge said that he cleared Mr. Powell of assault, but found him guilty of possessing offensive weapons. I will ask my three friends who can hear me right now, how old do you believe Alan Powell is? A-L-U-N.
How old is Alan?
Here's what we know. Here's what we know about
kids.
him. He's got 4 kids. He lives.
4 kids.
I'm
going to put him.
His dad had a stroke.
I'm going to put him at 38.
38 years old.
Okay, Jay.
Papa.
Guy's 46.
46.
Guy's 53.
53.
I think so. I mean, I just feel like his kids are teenagers. They don't love him.
Okay.
They hate him. He's getting so much shit from everybody. His wife was like, you bring that sword in this house. You go put it in your car.
Keep it in your trunk. I don't want to see it in the house.
So much that these guys finally did one apple core went through his mail slot. And he was like, that's it.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know, though. I don't know.
You think
it seems like a long time to wait to use that sword.
I know.
Right.
That's true.
It also depends on how old the kids are. Because they say father of 4. He could have 4
little
50-year-old kids who are like, Dad, you're 75.
Yeah, I don't know.
It.
Yeah, that's
like,
okay.
Who knows? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Alan Powell, we will end our first story on this, is 31 years old.
Oh, Papa! That is good thinking, my friend. Oh my God. There you go. So I guess getting out there on the fields and reenacting is a young man's
I know why
game.
he's so angry. 31 with 4 kids? What are you doing? Why do you think so, Tom?
Because he's 31, so he's got about 10 years in the game of parental marital life.
Yeah.
And he thought his life was going to be that of a warrior, dragons, going out, and 10 years, 1 decade of realizing it's not going to happen.
No.
It just
He married the first woman he banged. That's what happened, and that's the problem. And there you go. He had no life experiences.
He found
exactly.
He found
and
his
just
wench.
kerbluey.
You know what could have helped him out? Your old bit. If you're married, get a girlfriend. That's what you need.
Time for a girlfriend.
Time for a girlfriend. Tom Papa's old bit. All right, when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to hear about Tom Papa's new book. I'm so excited to read it. This is Dumb People Town. Don't go anywhere.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, Ran and Jay and Dan here.
Yep.
To talk to you about a great product that helps you sleep. I don't know. Have you had trouble sleeping recently?
I've gone in and out of waves. Yeah, well, I'll do good for a couple days and then have a few nights that aren't.
I think it's hard because people aren't on a schedule. You
Right.
know, normally
that can be a big part of it. Or
schedule-
you get anxiety late at night. If you know, you can. That's where the Good Night Show comes in, or even your guys' podcast. But sometimes you need a little bit of extra help.
I've got this right here because I've used it and it's really helped me on nights when I feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to fall asleep. It's not going to happen. I turn to this clinically proven sleep aid called Max Sleep from Omax Health.
It's very good.
I love
too.
this so much.
I just did it the other night and I love
Does it feel good?
The best.
Guarantees your best night's sleep in just 3 days or your money back. And it is true. Max Sleep contains a patent pending combination of natural ingredients. So again, you don't feel like you're putting something that's not natural in your system. Max Sleep, patent pending combination of natural ingredients specifically proven to optimize alpha brainwaves for a calmer mind and better sleep. It contains a full spectrum CBD with 0 THC. So you get all the benefits without any of the high. In a recent clinical study, Max Sleep participants improved their quality of sleep and felt more rested after only 3 nights. It's the truth. I felt rested after the first night.
Yep.
Just fantastic. They've improved overall wellness and felt more alert with no morning grogginess, which is the truth too. I woke up and I felt, oh my God, I got all of this sleep and it was fantastic.
When you have little kids, by the way, you know you need to be like up and ready. Your day starts immediately when you wake up.
Yeah.
You just getting that full 8 hours of sleep is such a blissful sleep is such an important thing, and you're better. You're more useful the next day when you get that sleep. So right now, Omax is offering our listeners 20% off their first bottle of Max Sleep. I want you guys to try this because it does work, plus free shipping. And if you don't experience your best night's sleep in just 3 nights, you can return it for a full refund. That's how confident they are. I can tell you it works. Jay, you can tell them it works.
Absolutely.
So if you're ready to relax your mind and get your best night's sleep ever, you need to try Max Sleep. Go to omaxhealth.com today and enter the code DPT to get 20% off a 1-month supply plus free shipping. And if you don't have your best night's sleep in 3 nights, return it for a full refund. That's omaxhealth.com.
By the way, they don't offer that if they aren't like confident. They don't want to be dealing with a ton of refunds.
And we know it works too.
Yeah. That's omaxhealth.com. Get free shipping and 20% off site-wide with the code DPT. Again, omaxhealth.com and use the code DPT.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We have Tom Papa with us. Before we get into his book, I want to remind a couple things. One, Dan Van Kirk has a daily podcast called The Good Night Show.
Nightly podcast.
Nightly podcast. I listen to it in the mornings. It's how I wake up, so I'm not angry at the news. It is a great way to go to sleep because it is just
light.
Lovely, light, peaceful, fun. Randy and I have a daily podcast going right now called Scarborough Country, the Virus Edition, a.k.a. 2 Guys, 1 Couch, a.k.a. Sklars and No Real Girl. Anyway, it's really fun. We talk about, we try to take your mind off the pandemic. That's what we're trying to do every day. 30 minutes. We just try to say, hey, we're not going to talk about flattening curves. We're not going to talk about, death tolls or your stock market going down. We're going to try and talk about Grimes and Elon Musk's new baby.
Their new baby name.
A-12
XAE-A-12, which was inspired by their favorite aircraft.
All right. Wonderful. So we'll get into that for a little bit. That's what we do. And Randy and I just started a YouTube page, Scarborough Country. Subscribe to that. Get on that. It helps us, and it's really cool. We put a bunch of old cheap seats up there, which is so much fun. Tom Papa is our guest, and he's one of our favorite comics out there, a brilliant writer, and you have a new book. Please tell these people about it because people ask us all the time, hey, I need new material during this.
And it drops today. The book is available today when this is dropping. So tell us.
Yeah, very exciting. It's my second book. It's called You're Doing Great and Other Reasons to Stay Alive.
Nice.
And it was written before all of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it was about looking at your life and realizing that you're actually doing great, no matter where you are in your life. We have this expectation of what life is supposed to be,
Right.
and it's really just at its base the joy of the simple things.
Yep.
So I just, in a very comedic way, part memoir, part just comedy, just kind of tackle all the elements of our life and try and give a little perspective. I think that life needs a little perspective, and I didn't realize
how relevant it is now.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. This is
God.
the book to read right now when you don't want to. All the
This
things
is a
we
book
listed
that
up.
people are writing right now, but won't come out for another year. Yours is coming out right now, and it's relevant right now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There was one part in the book, in one of the essays, I actually talk about, you guys as traveling around as comedians.
Yeah.
I talk about a coughing epidemic.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it me or is everybody on the flight coughing?
Yes.
And I go into all this, and then 2 months later, kerblooey.
Isn't that crazy?
But I really do. I'm very optimistic, and I try and be a little less cynical in my comedy and my life. And this book is just kind of an extension of that, and just give yourself a break and realize, even as hard as things are, which is a perspective I got from my grandparents who went through the Depression and went through World War II and all the rest of it. And they never stopped believing in life and believing in making other people happy. And so I just kind of went in that direction.
Where did your grandparents grow up or live when you were a kid?
They were in Clifton, New Jersey, which is kind of near Giant Stadium.
So East Coast. And were they immigrants or no? Were they?
Yeah, they came over. They were Italian, and they came over. One was before the war, and one was after.
That's amazing.
And they had nothing. They had nothing, and they had the huge families, and a lot of heartache and a lot of really crazy things that happened in the culture, and like no money, and living like in one little apartment with 8 brothers and sisters. And they had every reason to complain and to think that life was something that was taking the stuffing out of them. And they almost felt the opposite, that like if you did not appreciate every single day that you're alive, it was an insult. It was more than that. It was a sin.
Yeah.
It was not to be tolerated. And you should, not only should you be grateful for what you have, you should be spreading that with your brothers and sisters and your parents and your neighbors. And it was their duty to live a good life.
It's great. It's such a great.
Did they ever get to see you do stand up? Were they alive when you did anything?
Did they love it? I'm sure they loved it.
They did. They got a big kick out of it. I think the one grandmother, I once did this joke that was kind of in the beginning when you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I was a little dirty.
Yeah.
And I looked over. She was at a club, and I looked over, and she just looked at me and shook her head.
That's the ultimate. She didn't have to say anything.
No,
Yeah.
She was probably holding her purse and just was like,
Right.
no, you're not going to do that.
But that is exactly, oh my God, that's what you're doing with this book.
With this book and with your comedy. What a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
What a wonderful tribute to what they said, which is, what is a thing that you can do that can really make people appreciate life, and you can make them laugh? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, the title of the book, so people can get it right now from this thing, is
You're Doing Great and Other Reasons to Stay Alive.
okay. In the time of the pandemic, Tom Papa, You're Doing Great and Other Reasons to Stay Alive. This is it. I want you guys to pick that book up now. And let's get into another story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I put one more quick plug in? Which
Sure.
I forgot?
Absolutely.
Do it.
Because today is also the day that my new podcast, Breaking Bread with Tom Papa.
Great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I've, before all these trendy sourdough makers got into the game
man.
with the corn, I've been doing it for years.
Yes.
And so I wanted this new podcast to just be a celebration. You sit down, you break bread with people,
Yep.
you feed them, enjoy wine, and all this kind of stuff. And I started with Tom Segura and Alonzo Bowden. And I'm telling you, it's so great. You guys have to do it.
We'll do it. Will.
If you just ask somebody, tell me about who fed you when you were a child.
You're gone.
Sit back and just have this great time.
It's
so
so
thank you.
visceral. It's so like it is, it's time and place. Like a food, a smell can like immediately take you back to your 8 years old and your grandma fed you. You're
100%.
It's so good.
Yeah,
And
they just did a big thing on CBS Sunday Morning this past week. I love that show, and it was all about like what people are eating now and why they're eating it, like what's selling a lot more, and some of it was people trying to reconnect to the stories that I'm sure are going to come out of Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. Because
and what you realize is like we people that were making food in our era, it was like a foodie thing, and it was trendy to like, I'm going to make this. Back then, it was just, that's how you fed your family.
Right.
There was no takeout. There was no, you just cranked stuff out all the time.
Yeah. And amazing. And the bread aspect of it too is so, my wife has been making them and making sourdough and giving out like part of the starter to other friends to get them started. I'm like, it's like a coaching tree. Now your starter is sitting over here and then they get a little bit here and then it's just such a cool thing. So I appreciate
it's the coolest.
Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. And again, the book, please pick that up now. Should we jump into another story?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. In this time of pandemic and everything feeling out of sorts, this is probably the story I've been sent the most.
Okay.
It just clogged up my Twitter Twitter mentions, and I thank everybody for it because it is perfect for dumb people town. I'm going to read you the headline. Man caught camping on Disney's Discovery Island says it was tropical paradise. This was sent in by Adam Poulton at Polsky, Poultski.
Can't do this.
Polsky 75.
By the way, who has ever referred to Disney as a tropical paradise? Nobody.
Well,
it is a hell on earth.
Oh, go to Disney World, baby.
I've been, man. I've been. I want to go to the new Star Wars experience.
I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, and the Avatar one, the Avatar ride is one of the greatest rides I've ever been on.
So there's this. You can get on an app on your phone, like the wait times you can just see what they are. So like if you have the Disney app, you can just anywhere you are be like, what's the wait time for the Avatar? And I looked at it. We looked at it one time, my kids, and they're like 13 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is no way I'm waiting 13 hours.
2 hours and 45 minutes the last time I went. But the first time I went to go, we were staying on property, so I had like
in Florida.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
you
so
get a fast pass.
Whoa.
Well, you get like magic hours, and so like there's a part where only if you're staying on property are you allowed to still be in the park. So it was only like an hour wait.
Jesus.
But it's one of the coolest rides I've ever been on. It's like if you like Soarin', or if you know what that is, Soarin' California or Soarin' the World, it's like your own personal Soarin'. You're riding one of those Banshees in Avatar, and it's insane. But the Star Wars one is supposed
pretty
to be
cool.
Yeah, Star Wars one is great too.
Yeah.
It's all amazing. All the stuff is great. If it wasn't for all those other people,
that's it. I want to watch like this giant.
Well,
family.
you don't have to worry about that if you decide to go live in Disney World right now, like this guy did.
God, it's absurd. What an idiot!
Orange
Would
County,
he climb the fence?
Orange County, Florida. A man is facing trespassing charges after security found him camping on Walt Disney World's Discovery Island, according to the Orange County Sheriff's
He's probably
Office.
I'm like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Do you know how
Am I going
hard
to become friends with a volleyball?
It's not easy to get there. I know where this is. He's near the Magic Kingdom. It's on the same lake area where the Grand Floridian, I think it's called, is, and that is that's the lake where the alligator killed that little kid.
Oh my
God! I don't know how he got out to the island.
He had to swim through alligator infested waters to get out there. Is it worth it? And he's camping. Does he have his own tent?
He's on Discovery. You know what they discovered? He's a dummy.
Yeah, that's what they discovered on Discovery Island.
Deputies say they were called to 4301 North World Drive. I love that they give the address for Disney World.
It's
just
Disney World.
Disney World. Nobody's ever like pulled over halfway, like outside of a Ron John surf shop with their family in the station wagon, being like, "Can you tell me how to get to 4301 North?"
I need the 4300 block of World Way.
Main Street.
You know they have
there's a taffy shop on the corner.
You're gonna go past the taffy shop
every night. It's
there'll be a barbershop quartet on your left and a crying 4-year-old. There'll be quite a few of those on your right. Once you get past them, they said so they were called to Walt Disney World after Richard McGuire was spotted on the Disney-owned property, which is currently closed to the public.
Dickie McGuire.
How is he spotted? They must have people, just maintenance people still.
They probably have
They have
cameras
people probably
everywhere.
cameras and people
Yeah.
probably sweeping through at this point. You keep a skeleton
Yeah.
crew, so to speak.
Orange County deputies searched for McGuire on foot, by helicopter, and by boat before finally making contact.
Orange County, so that's
with-
out here.
No,
No,
Orange
no,
County,
Orange County,
Florida.
Orange County,
Florida. Okay, fine.
Yeah. It always gets confusing.
I
for
got
me, too.
confused.
I know. Before finally making contact with him, that's a lot of overkill for
One if
guy.
by land, two if by sea.
Like, don't you have tranquilizer darts that you can just fire from a plane? You know, and just like take him out there.
Or like if no one's there, just like drop napalm on the whole park.
Or just let Captain Hook handle it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Got a hook in the eye, this guy.
Yes. When deputies told McGuire they had been using a loudspeaker to address him, which means I guess they were like through the park,
Yeah.
being like, "Sir, we
For
know
the
you're out
man,
here."
the man on Discovery Island.
Which I hope he was
Get
like,
off.
he was like, "There's some other guy. They're not talking to me."
Right.
Is that, you know how like you sometimes hear an announcer, you're like, did they just say Sklar? What are they taking? They saying my name?
Right. What I hope too is the preamble to all this is him being in a fight with some like on
Woman.
again, off again lover.
Dan, I
where
know
they
exactly where
said to
you're
him, "Where you gonna go? What are you gonna do?"
Oh,
And
he said, I got a plan.
I'm going.
I'm going to Disney World.
I'm going to Disney World.
I don't,
It's
even,
like
I don't even have to win the Super Bowl, and I get to say this.
I'm going to Disney World.
Is the white trash version of a Super Bowl champion.
I'm going to Disney World.
Where are you going to go after this legal separation?
I'm going to Disney World.
When deputies told McGuire they'd been using a loudspeaker to address him, he said he didn't hear them because he was sleeping inside one of the buildings on the island,
Dummy.
to which he referred to as a tropical paradise.
You know how Tropical Paradise has buildings?
You know how Tupperware is
Yeah,
inside a
right.
building?
That's one of the greatest things about Tropical Paradise is all of their buildings.
Yeah, all those man-made structures.
Being inside
And
of
the
a building.
tiki hut, the tiki hut with all those birds.
Yeah.
What floor of the Tiki building were you?
I just want to know, like, okay, well, here we go. According to a arrest report, it says it here. McGuire told deputies he was not aware that the property was off limits. What world are you living on?
Oh, I didn't know. It was all boarded up, and it said no trespassing.
I
but
had to
I had
jump
no
18
idea.
fences in a
when you
bar.
were when you were climbing the fence.
Right.
I was just unaware. It just was like a simple climbing of a fence.
Dive over barbed wire, you know.
When there was no one there to sell you a balloon inside of another balloon, you thought that this place was open?
Yeah, it's open.
That's my biggest thing. I never understand the people who get roped into buying the Mickey balloon inside the larger balloon.
If
at
the
Disney.
front door was open and he just wandered in, like there is no world in which you're like, you are walking in saying I got in. I snuck in.
If you are paying attention to the news for 1 second, you are assuming it's closed.
yeah.
If you've seen National Lampoon's Vacation, you
Yeah,
would have
Sorry,
figured-
folks. Park's closed. Moose out front should have told you.
Yeah.
I just watched that with my 11-year-old son.
Oh,
and
really?
He loved
That
it.
can't break the skin.
Oh,
Oh, it
that's
can break
great.
the skin.
It could put a lodge in the skin and cause a very bad
serious
infection.
You know they had to
the
reshoot the
best.
ending to National Lampoon's Vacation?
Yeah.
That's why Anthony
Yeah.
Michael Hall is like so much taller. They had to go back and reshoot that whole thing with Candy. Okay. Discovery Island was a zoological attraction before Disney's Animal Kingdom. So it must be where they had all the animals before they opened up Animal Kingdom, which also is like one of the coolest parks they have down there.
I've been there.
It's been closed since 1999.
Wait, he's in a building that's been closed since 1999 or on an island.
Yes.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
to me, that is the most
Phil-
terrifying thing in the world.
You know that like go ahead, Tom.
It's terrifying because all the animals are talking.
Yes.
No, that's haunted. It is haunted by the ghosts of
Oh my God, if I heard anything, like a rustling of anything, I'd be like, I'm going to die. This is how I die.
Ghosts.
This crazy clown house.
Right. All of Disney's Orlando area theme parks are also currently closed. I love that in Orlando, in Florida, that pro wrestling is deemed more essential to their economy than the fact that half their state is built off the money from theme parks. Now, I'm not saying that they should open theme parks. I understand why they can't.
No,
but they're more essential to their economy than professional wrestling.
Amen. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been closed since '99. This made me think of it. It's like Disney World has an entire island that they used to have all these attractions on that they now just they haven't used in over 20 years. And I remembered an employee told me when I was there the last time at Disney World, they have only used all those parks, all that stuff. They've only used a third of the property that Walt Disney bought.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's how much land
This
they
guy
have
has
down there.
unreal.
God.
That is insane
Amazing.
to think
They're
about.
just waiting for new movie franchises to come out so they can build
Right.
the thing.
I mean, I remember. We remember going to Disney World before Epcot.
Yeah, I remember pre-Epcot.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
You must have gone there when you were a kid, like down from there. We went there.
I think the first time I went was when Epcot opened.
Yeah, so we went pre-Epcot. I remember when Epcot opened, it was the biggest thing ever.
The best time we ever
Tropical
went
Paradise?
is we went for ESPN the weekend. This is back when we were doing. This is like 15 years ago when we were doing cheap seats, and they gave us a personal guide, which walked us to the front of every single line.
That's
Because we were doing shows for ESPN, live shows of cheap seats and whatnot while we were there, and I mean, it was amazing. And we stayed in the animal park. So you'd go out.
Wait, when was this?
This was in 2006.
So maybe Animal Kingdom had just opened?
Just opened. And so like we're staying in the hotel and you'd look out
It's amazing.
from your hotel and there's like giraffe. There are giraffes
Wildebeest.
walking around.
Yes,
Yeah, just
that's
walking
unreal.
around.
It's
insane.
gorgeous.
But wait, this guy probably had to go through that stuff.
No, because that's a whole different
it's on
area.
the side.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
God.
over by Magic. He's over by Magic Kingdom.
How you find this place is beyond.
It's so
You're
crazy.
deep in.
No, but this is
He
what
had
this
to
guy
have done
thought.
it at night.
No, and he thought to himself, I'm gonna go into this crazy like place and I'm gonna live off the land. I'm gonna
Live off the fake land.
live off the fake land and the fake kingdom.
How long was he there?
That is a great question. It says here that he had been camping there since Monday or Tuesday and doesn't give us any other point of reference. This came out on, let me look at the date right here. That says here that this came out.
Look at a
give
calendar.
date.
So you.
This came out on Monday the 1st. So
The
May
first of-
1st.
May 1st is a Friday.
It was a Friday, so he had been there about 4 days, 5
Yeah,
days.
4 or 5 days.
5 days he's been camping.
Wow.
I wonder where did he go originally that he was like, you know what? This doesn't feel like a tropical paradise.
Harry Potter at Universal.
I'm at Hogwarts here, and it's not feeling very tropical to me.
I understand why they call it Escape from Gringotts. I don't want to stay here.
Then he goes down to the Bahamas. He's like, "This isn't really a tropical paradise.
Right.
Let me get up. Let me get up in Discovery Island and see how that is."
He said that he had planned on staying there for about a week.
No.
Yes.
Don't let us ruin your plans, sir.
McGuire, he was arrested and charged with trespassing and on posted property, and was also ordered not to return to any additional Walt Disney World properties.
Let
I don't
me
know if
ask
that's
you this.
official or just a
Banned from
suggestion.
Disney World.
Tom, have you ever trespassed anywhere in your life as a kid or whatever? Gone somewhere where you shouldn't have gone?
Yeah. We used to break into like the pool, like the town pool.
Yeah.
At night when we were kids.
And there's a feeling. Okay, so you only had to probably jump one fence or whatever it was.
Yeah, under the fence.
Under the fence. There's a feeling though, like the second as your body is going under that fence, you're like, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, but it's so exciting.
It's
So
exhilarating,
exciting.
but can you imagine like whatever crazy ass security Disney has? Like it can't be just one. You're not going under a local pool fence. You got to go up over so much stuff.
Yeah. Tom, you just
Yeah.
also blew my mind because we have a little swimming area called Spring Lake, but it's next to Spring Lake. They call it Spring Lake. It's like the pool, the public pool. You paid like $1.25 a day to go there.
Right.
Whatever. And it never crossed my mind once
To
when
swim
I was
at
in
night?
high school to break into that
Swim
place
at night.
Now we would go. We used to do a thing we called pool hopping, where you would make a list of all the kids who had pools at their houses, and we would run and jump in their pool and maybe throw some of their pool furniture into it, and then run to the next house and just do this the whole night.
Hilarious.
It was so
Ridiculous.
much fun. Oh
Ridiculous.
my god, it was so much fun. But I'm like, why did we never break into Spring Lake?
Because it seemed like it was
Oh
too
my
much.
god! I might do it
It's too much.
the next summer. I get to go home as a grown man. I think I might
You
do
should
it.
do it,
Dan, you have to.
I mean, I'll get arrested.
Don't get arrested,
But
Dan.
I'll get
please,
arrested.
dear God.
We used to break into not break in, but we would sneak into the football field and ring the victory bell, which was the bell that the football team would ring after the game. And I mean, it was so loud in all these houses around. That was kind of like the only trespassing we did. We ran into
So
the cops.
we went to when we were in, and I'm sure you've done this club, Tom, in Bloomington, Indiana, the Comedy Attic. Have you ever done that?
No.
Oh,
No.
you have to.
You would love it. It's a wonderful city,
yeah.
and
I hope it survives. I really
University of Indiana
Yeah.
IU is such a great school, and of course we're huge fans
Yeah.
of the movie Breaking Away, and they have the quarries where they were swimming at the very beginning. when
Oh,
they
no
swims down the
way.
refrigerator. And so we were like, it was wintertime. We're like, we got to go see the quarry. Let's go try and find the quarry where they shot this thing. And we're recording this for this Sklar's and Stripes thing we did about going around and doing comedy all over the country. And we're recording us walking out there with our buddy Scott, and we start walking out there, and it's like
you can hear the terror in our voices.
You hear us because it says no trespassing, and we're like, we probably shouldn't do this. And we keep walking, and it says seriously no trespassing, and we keep walking, we keep going through this, and then it's like no trespassing, and there's some trucks working over there. We're like, we're gonna get shot right now. You just felt increasingly worse,
and we're like, the further we go into this, the more we can't get out of it.
It takes a person without a conscience to think they can camp on this goddamn island.
We'll get out of here on this. How old do you guys think Richard McGuire, the man who found his tropical paradise,
Dickie McGee,
planned to live there for about a week, got about 4 or 5 days into it?
I'm going to be willing to admit that he thought he was going to probably fall in love with and marry a mermaid who lived there too.
Still possible.
It's got to be part of the plan. All right, how old, Tom, do you think this dude is?
This dude is 41.
Okay.
Dad. Okay.
Jason.
Which, by the way, sounds old, but to you, me, and Jason, that's 9 years, 8
years younger than me.
He's a kid.
Yeah.
He's got his whole life ahead of him.
I feel like he's got some skills.
Right.
Sure.
I think he's obviously
delusional.
His brain is
It's right.
delusional.
Right.
He's slipping.
I'm going to say 37.
37.
I think he's 28.
28 years old. Okay, one of you is only 1 year off.
Oh, this is fun. One of us is only 1 year off.
Because we will get out of here before we head to the third story and close out the second story with this. Richard McGuire, little Dickie Mick, if you ask me, tried to live in Walt Disney World, found his paradise, and was there for almost a whole week, is 42 years old.
Papa. God damn it, Tom Papa. You know your stuff. Nice. Very good assessment of who this dude was. All right, give us a little taste of what we're going to hear in the Thursday.
We do this every once in a while. It is a nightmare for parents.
Okay, nightmare for parents. As parents, we'll all know this. Tom Papa's here. We got a short story on the other side of this break, so stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
My partner Adam and I,
that's me,
tape our podcast Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone in a little studio where we can only fit one instrument for a house band, although we once fit in a yak.
Oh, that yak.
It's a comedy advice show. Experts talk about things we all need to know. We had a mortician explain a better way to die.
An urban chicken farmer told us how to raise poultry in your backyard.
A casting agent coached me on how to get the role.
A constitutional expert explained the Bill of Rights.
Maybe we can get the White House to listen to that episode.
Also, an astronaut told us how to astronaut.
We have hand puppets, French trompe, and vocabulary words like nugatory.
To find out what nugatory means, listen to Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Dan, take us home, buddy.
All right, here we go. This one has also been sent to me a lot because it is perfect for Dumb People Town. I will read you the headline that was sent in by Big Fan at FYI you rock. Thank you so much, Big Fan. 5-year-old boy driving parents' car to head to California.
We talked about this on our daily, but geez Louise. It's okay. Let's get into it because I want to hear what Tom has to say about
Weber
this.
County, Utah. According to troopers with the Utah Highway Patrol.
I think it's Weber.
Oh, Weber? Okay.
Yeah, Weber State. Because it's Weber State.
Oh, yeah.
Weber State.
A 5-year-old boy was pulled over driving his parents' car on the freeway on Monday.
Have you had to teach your kids how to drive yet? Any of your kids? Tom?
Yeah.
How's that process gone?
She's good now, but it's scary beginnings.
Okay, and she was age appropriate. You probably did it when she did it when she was 15.
Yeah, but if you give it to them when they're 5 and you aren't there to worry about it, there's out of sight, out of anxiety.
How does a 5-year-old know how to do it?
How does a 5-year-old understand how to start a car and drive it? You can't.
How does he reach the pedals?
And how does he back up and go for? I don't understand.
How do they reach the pedals?
He got onto the freeway. UHP said a trooper in Weber County initiated a traffic stop on what he thought was an impaired driver. It was an unprepared driver. Turns out it was a 5-year-old child. UPH said that he told troopers.
Dan, I'm serious. How do you think this kid was driving this car? How do you think he could? Is he either like a 5'6" kid?
Standing
I
up.
said
Yeah,
standing up.
Tom's doing it. It's got to be some of that.
Like a grandma, like a shrunken grandma.
Right, you're not. So you're not even
But
seeing
standing. He
but
maybe
how
pushed
can
the
you-
seat back
through
and
the
stood.
wheel.
Yeah.
Looking through the
Through the
wheel.
wheel.
I don't
up.
know. If it's a power seat, you can get those really close. And I mean, there are like old little men and women who like still drive.
5 years old is
5
so
years
small.
old. Old people
What
are
if he's
the same
standing
size
with-
as 5-year-olds.
Okay, here's the other thing. A lot of people have said that there's a big negative and a big positive to screen time in our life. The first is that so many kids are riding in cars on their having screen time that they are not paying attention to how their parents drive. So when they go to learn any sort of like curve they've already
Right.
started to climb that we all had because you couldn't do anything other than sit there and watch your parent drive. They don't have any of that. So they're not aware of
also
anything.
kids don't want it.
Kids don't want to drive. I
Because-
don't know if
because
you're,
Yeah.
if your daughter
Because of
experienced
Uber.
it.
They're like, oh, we'll just take an Uber to the party.
Yeah, I know. But yet, being on your phone all the time and manipulating the hand-eye coordination,
That's the
like
positive side of it. They said a lot
Yeah,
of kids
so-
who have played those games have a very advanced understanding of how to drive. If
Yeah,
they're
but he's
playing
5,
like-
Dan. This kid's 5. I can't even get my 6-year-old to take her plate to the sink.
but if that kid
How am I
is-
going to teach her how to
Get the
drive a
kid
goddamn
out
car?
of the car and onto the highway.
But we've heard stories of people who have landed planes because they were obsessed with like simulators and they knew what to do. If a kid is
Right.
playing a car, like there are kids who understand stick shift just by playing racing games.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
So there might have been some sort of knowledge there that would put
Dan,
him ahead
he
of
is
the
not
curve.
12.
He's 5.
He is 5.
I'm not. Hey, he got pulled over, but he also made
I think
it
he
onto
rode
the
it like
freeway.
I think he rode it like a tractor, just stood up,
Yeah, that's what I
foot
think.
on the gas.
But wait. So, but he got pulled over, so he knew to pull over. I mean,
By the way-
give him that credit. He got on the freeway, and then the
Yeah.
cops pulled him over, and he pulled. Unless the cops like forced the car.
Maybe. I don't know, but that's just.
We're assuming that he was going quickly.
Yes,
I think he was probably weaving a little bit.
for sure. Well, they
Yeah.
said he thought he was an unimpaired driver.
Impaired.
Troopers said he told troopers that he left home after an argument with his mom, in which she told him she would not buy him a Lamborghini.
Yeah, well, that's right. You don't get a Lamborghini at 5, you dummy.
So he decided to take the car and go to California and get one himself. First of all, I love this is 5 years old where you think
This is pretty
Lamborghinis
great.
are only in California.
all Lamborghinis are in California. I'm
Hey
gonna drive to
dummy,
Canada.
hey dummy, there's a Lamborghini dealership a mile from your house, you stupid shit.
Park City.
to
It's
which
baby Jay Leno.
Hey, you want to see the car down here? I'm going to drive into California.
and another story from this, it turns out that after the argument, he was being watched by his, I think either older sister or older cousin. She decided to take a nap. And while she was asleep, he took the car keys. She said she will never leave the keys out again.
She's never going to babysit that kid again.
This kid needs to be put in a cage at the border.
He drove for miles from his home before being.
How many miles?
It doesn't say.
Oh my God.
But he did have money with him to buy a Lamborghini.
I hope it was a good nap.
But where's he putting money?
I feel like this kid had a wallet with money and a condom in it. It was
Yeah, it's like, let's
I
go.
know.
Look,
I
we're
hope
getting
he's
lucky.
got a Roth IRA.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
Very advanced. He's the Doogie Howser of poor car buying.
That's right.
Okay, if you guys already know, you can recuse yourself.
We will recuse ourselves. This is just him.
But how much money do you think he had in his wallet?
I remember.
I remember.
buy
I'm
a
anxious to
Lamborghini.
hear what Tom has to say. How much money do you think he has?
how much money? $2.
$2. Okay, I will tell you now. Play along, Townies, wherever you are with us. Play in place of the Sklar's, because this 5-year-old boy to buy a Lamborghini after a fight with his mom, and they say you make rash decisions when you're upset. It was either this or cut.
Don't go
cut it-
out driving after
Right.
that.
If you either get a Lamborghini or cut his hair and did bangs, but it was so he was going to do something rash.
Drastic.
Don't
yeah.
drive angry if you're 5.
Don't go to bed angry.
To buy a Lamborghini in his wallet on his way to California in the car that he stole, he had $3.
All right.
Good guess, Tom Papa.
Nice work.
Dude,
You've been
you
on it all
crushed it
day
from
today.
Utah to California. This
Yeah.
kid, by the way, I'm not
Yeah.
saying this kid couldn't get a Lamborghini. He drove. If he got onto the highway, which means he had to merge onto a highway.
He shows up at a Lamborghini dealership.
Wants to say he can't haggle his way into a $3 Guinea. You know what I'm saying?
He sits down, and the guy's like, "Look, these are $275,000 cars. I can't."
And he puts the $3 down,
and he never sits down.
No, the kid stands up, and literally the kid produces a wallet. I'm like, "You're 5 and you have a wallet." Sure. Opens
Slides.
it up,
puts
slides
it in, and then the guy looks
Go
at it for a
talk
minute,
to your manager.
and the guy goes, "Let me see what I can do."
Go talk to your manager. I have 65 years to pay it off.
I'll put $3 down.
$3 down, and I'll pay it off.
I'm good for it.
I'm good for it.
Those are our stories, friends.
Those are unbelievable stories.
Always
Again,
great.
Tom Papa, tell them the name of the book one more time so they can go out and get it.
You're doing great, and other reasons to stay alive.
God, we need it more than ever. And your pod that is out today, and your podcast Breaking Bread with Tom Papa.
Subscribe
please check
to that.
out. We're gonna do it when we can all get back together again, and we're gonna force you to have us on.
Oh, please! I can't wait.
I love having you in Dumb People Town. You're so smart, and you're so great, and you understand it so well. Have a good one, Tom Papa. Thank you.
I love you all.
Love you too, buddy.
Oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm you down. It's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.